The security architecture of East Asia is undergoing a profound transformation, driven by the escalating missile capabilities of North Korea and the maritime expansion of China. In this volatile environment, the naval procurement strategies of Japan and South Korea offer a compelling study in contrasts. While both nations are allies of the United States and face similar geopolitical threats, their responses have diverged significantly. Japan has prioritized the construction of the Aegis System Equipped Vessel, a massive surface combatant designed as an impenetrable defensive shield. Conversely, South Korea has spent years debating the construction of a light aircraft carrier, a project that increasingly appears to be a strategic mismatch for its immediate security reality. This analysis examines the technical specifications and strategic rationale behind the Japanese ASEV versus the South Korean carrier ambitions, highlighting why Tokyo's approach represents a triumph of pragmatic engineering over prestige-driven acquisition. The genesis of the Aegis System Equipped Vessel lies in the cancellation of the Aegis Ashore land-based missile defense system. Following the suspension of that program, due to technical and community concerns, the Japanese Ministry of Defense pivoted to a sea-based solution. The result is a ship of unprecedented scale in the post-World War II era of the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force. With a standard displacement of 12,000 tons and a full load displacement approaching 20,000 tons, the ASAV is significantly larger than the Maya-class destroyers or the American Arleigh Burke Flight III destroyers. In terms of physical dimensions, the vessel measures 190 meters in length and 25 meters in beam. These dimensions effectively classify the ship not as a destroyer, but as a heavy cruiser, reminiscent of the capital ships of the past, but repurposed for modern missile defense. The sheer size of the ASEV is not merely for imposing presence, but is a direct consequence of its technical requirements. The vessel is designed to operate in the rough seas of the Sea of Japan and the Pacific Ocean for extended periods, relieving the burden on the existing Aegis fleet. Central to its capability is the SPY-7 V1 radar from Lockheed Martin. This solid-state radar system was originally intended for land-based installation and possesses a detection range and discrimination capability that exceeds the SPY-6 radar currently being integrated into the U.S. Navy fleet. To support this massive sensor suite and the associated cooling and power generation systems, a large hull was a naval architecture necessity. In terms of lethality and defensive coverage, the ASAV represents the pinnacle of current maritime technology. It is equipped with 128 vertical launch system cells. This capacity is double that of standard destroyers, allowing for a deep magazine of interceptors. The primary armament includes the SM-3 Block 2A for ballistic missile defense outside the atmosphere, and the SM-6 for engaging hypersonic threats and cruise missiles within the atmosphere. Furthermore, the ship is designed with future growth in mind. The power generation capacity has been engineered to accommodate directed energy weapons, such as high-output lasers and electromagnetic railguns, which Japan is actively developing to counter hypersonic glide vehicles. This forward-looking design philosophy ensures that the significant investment of taxpayer funds yields an asset relevant for decades to come. Across the Tsushima Strait, the naval strategy of South Korea has followed a more turbulent trajectory. For years, the Republic of Korea Navy has pursued the CVX program, an initiative to build a light aircraft carrier capable of operating vertical takeoff and landing jets. The rationale was ostensibly to secure blue water projection capabilities and match the carriers of neighboring powers. However, as of 2025 and 2026, the project has effectively entered a zombie state, plagued by budgetary cuts and fierce strategic criticism. The enthusiasm for a carrier has collided with the hard reality of the Korean Peninsula's geography. Critics argue that a South Korean aircraft carrier would be a massive, floating target with limited utility in a conflict with North Korea. Unlike Japan, which is an archipelago requiring maritime depth for defense, South Korea is a peninsula where land-based air power can cover most operational theaters. A carrier operating in the confined waters of the Yellow Sea or the Sea of Japan would be well within the range of North Korean shore-based artillery and anti-ship missiles, to say nothing of the advanced anti-access systems deployed by China. Furthermore, the CVX program faces a critical platform dilemma. The South Korean military has debated purchasing the American F-35B, which is expensive and operationally complex, versus developing a naval variant of the indigenous KF-21 fighter, known as the KF-21N. However, the KF-21N remains a paper concept, and the modifications required to make it carrier-capable would be technically challenging and financially draining. The contrast between the Japanese ASEV and the Korean CVX reveals a fundamental difference in strategic culture. The Japanese approach is characterized by a focus on the shield. The ASEV is a specialized defensive asset designed to neutralize the most existential threat to the Japanese islands: nuclear-armed ballistic missiles. It is a pragmatic solution that integrates seamlessly into the broader US-Japan missile defense architecture. The decision to prioritize 128 missile cells and the world's most advanced radar over the prestige of a flight deck reflects a disciplined allocation of defense resources. It prioritizes the safety of the citizenry and the protection of critical infrastructure over force projection. On the other hand, the South Korean carrier ambition represents a desire for the sword and a yearning for status equality with regional powers. However, this ambition has arguably distracted from more pressing needs. Recognizing this, the administration in Seoul has recently begun to shift focus back towards the kill chain preemptive strike system and the Korea massive punishment and retaliation strategy, which relies on heavy surface-to-surface missiles like the Hunmu series rather than naval air power. This pivot suggests a tacit admission that the carrier dream was perhaps a luxury that the current security environment cannot support. For the Japanese taxpayer and military observer, the lesson is clear. While the cost of the ASEV program is substantial, reaching hundreds of billions of yen per vessel, the return on investment is tangible strategic stability. The ship provides a mobile, persistent missile defense capability that does not rely on political permission from local governments to deploy, unlike land-based batteries. It frees up the smaller, more agile destroyers to conduct anti-submarine warfare and maritime interdiction operations. In conclusion, the divergent paths of the two neighbors highlight the importance of aligning procurement with geography and threat assessment. Japan has chosen a path of realistic fortification, building a maritime fortress in the ASEV that leverages its technological strengths in electronics and shipbuilding. South Korea, conversely, has struggled to reconcile its global naval aspirations with its continental security imperatives, leading to a stalled carrier program. As the security environment in East Asia becomes increasingly precarious, the Japanese decision to build a dedicated missile defense supership appears not only prudent, but prescient. The ASEV stands as a testament to a defense policy that values substance over style and effectiveness over optics, securing its place as the true capital ship of the modern era.